Hello and welcome to this week's stream. This is going to be fun. Today I've officially got the YoloBox Extreme up and running, and we are streaming in 4K from the YoloBox. So going to be a good test of things to see how this goes. First of all, nice to see everybody in the chat. If you do have a question for me throughout the stream, please start your message with the letter Q, and that'll make it a bit easier for me to spot here. Hopefully I managed to do this okay, because I'm not streaming with my normal stuff. I'm actually streaming from the YoloBox today, so most of my automations are not working. I do have one backup connected, which is my main rig is actually also piped into the YoloBox. So this shot is actually a 1080 shot from my main rig going into the YoloBox. So this one's not 4K, but this camera and the overhead are plugged in into the YoloBox with a 4K HDMI cable. So, okay, let's get this back. I think we're back. The YoloBox app crashed, of course. Okay, people are saying my audio is soft. Let's fix that first too. I should be able to, let me boost it on the mic. I'll boost it on the output there. I'm gonna look at the levels here. That's as high as the receiver goes. This does look low, so I'm gonna give it a boost here as well. This is up to +7, still looks low. +10, still looks low. Okay, well, I don't know if I can go much higher. This was, if this is still too low, let me know, because I'm gonna have to rewire the audio to something different if this is not good enough. Okay, let me see what's going on in the chat. We've got, I'm cutting out. Shouldn't be cutting out. Oh, let's get the comments up too. What do you mean cutting out? That's not good. We shouldn't have that. Audio is soft. Okay, so, yep. Stream is back. Lots of buffering. Shouldn't be buffering. I pretty sure I'm on the wired connection. Let me turn Wi-Fi off on this. Yeah, Wi-Fi's off on this. So we're on a wired connection. We've got 15 megabits a second, which should be no issues. Lots of restart the device, says Omer. I can restart. It'll just take a minute to get back. Is this USB or analog? I heard the preamps are not good. I ran out of USB ports because I have too many things connected. So here's. Okay, this is the USB audio. That does look better to me. Frank also did send me the beta of the YoloBox software last night, so if we can always blame that if things go wrong. I am on, where is the version number? I am on the, oh, it's in the main screen, which I don't think I can get to now without killing the stream. And I don't have any HDMI out plugged in right now either. Where's the, yeah, there's no version number on this page. Now it's too much. That's because maybe I cranked the receiver up too much. Let's turn that back down to +6. Yeah, okay, now we're good. Sorry for the rough start. Frank says, I've been streaming in multicam 4K for a few months, never had this issue. I am on a beta 198. Audio sync issue now. Oh, I thought I saved the audio delay. You saw me do that. Delay 168. Well, close enough. That should be better. Okay. IT Never Gets Old says, I'm curious what inspired you to do a video on 4K streaming. I still do not see the great need or even desire for this. It's nice for the product sheet, but so much data because it's coming out of my ATEM. This one's back to 4K. The other thing about the 4K stream is I can't turn on ultra low latency. So the other YouTube only supports ultra low in 1080. It doesn't support it in 4K. But on the plus side, it does mean that you get live captions. YouTube does auto captions if you're not in low latency. So there is that. Still buffering. Well, I can restart the device. I did, you know, make the classic mistake of, well, I mean, it's a mistake. So I set everything up last night, did a couple tests, worked fine, and then I left it on all night. So theoretically, this beta version of the YoloBox software does save settings, more settings now when you restart it. So we should be able to come back to this and I shouldn't have to recreate all of the scenes. So let me reboot the YoloBox and we'll see if that helps. Oh yeah, it says live in the poll showed up 3 minutes before you started talking about a poll. That's the other thing about 4K is that, so yeah, I'm not in ultra low latency, I'm in normal latency, and I don't actually know what the normal latency in 4K is. In 1080, it's like 30 seconds or so. MediaX is streaming 4K via Apple TV. Okay, I'm gonna restart this. We're gonna see, because it looks like everybody is in this. Wait, yeah, power button. There it is. Here we go. Okay, it rebooted, we're back. Let's see if this is any better. I don't have a good way to know. So, and I guess it's gonna take a few minutes for you guys to catch up. Frank says if you leave it open overnight, it'll be overheating. It doesn't feel hot. I do have it on this nice PK1 stand, so it's tilted up. It's got good airflow, although it is a very warm day in the office today. It got up to almost like 100 degrees Fahrenheit yesterday, and the poor air conditioner in here was struggling very much to keep up. So, audio is still cutting out. That's not good. Okay, the audio is the important part. So what can I do to fix that? Double audio. I only see USB-C audio. Are you sure it's just not open another tab? Let me just toggle all of these on and off again. I remember that happened once. Okay, now we should have only one audio. Getting mixed reports of. Frank says it's still buffering, but never happens when I do multicam 4K live stream. I don't know why it would be. Gwen says the streaming audio has been fine for me since reboot, watching in 1080. IT never gets old. I was against 4K before, and this very much confirms that belief. Do I have anything else that can even stream in 4K? I don't know if I do. I'm trying to think. Newton says I refreshed and it fixed it. Check out YoloLiv's official channel's 4K live streams. Well, what are you doing that I'm not doing? I'm trying to think, do I have anything else that can do 4K? I have stuff that can record in 4K, like the HyperDeck can record in 4K. McNasty Daily says, fiber connection here. Your audio and video is great the whole time. The double audio, somebody is screwing with you. Okay, great. Audio is still cutting out. What? Okay, I can do something about that. I can move the audio to. Actually, I can move it to the audio that's coming in over HDMI. Let's do that. This audio is from my normal rig, so it's already got the delay built in, so I'm not going to add it back there. This should be, it's a different microphone now, so instead of the lav mic, it is the overhead microphone. So FTFO says, really weird, my computer has no buffering, but my phone is buffering and cutting audio. Weird. Okay. No issues 4K on my computer, but my iPhone is cutting audio in slight pauses. Oh, the other thing that I just realized, I think I am streaming HEVC. I wonder if that is... Yeah. I wonder if that's causing some of the problems. I could change that. Robot Bender says, I'm in Europe and it is buffering, no trolling. Okay. The audio cutting out is a buffering issue. That makes sense. Okay. It was better for almost a minute after the reboot. Sometimes it buffers and sometimes only the audio cuts out. I can change this to H.264 and we can see if that helps. I'm curious if Frank normally does H.264 or H.265. I will have to stop and start. Frank says, just curious why the Go Live is not on. That's the other thing I'm doing that's different than yours, I guess, is I'm also curious why it's not on, but what I'm doing is I made a custom destination and I made it SRT, and I'm sending SRT to YouTube. So apparently when you just check the box here, it just starts pushing data without even pressing Go Live. So I'm not totally sure why that is, but that's what's going on. I'm going to stop and start and switch over to H.264. We're going to see if that helps. Okay, we're back. Now we are in H.264. So let's see if this is any different. We should still be... I wish there was like stats here somewhere. All I get is the settings. I don't get like real time. And I don't think I have, now that I have started the stream, I don't have the ability to switch over to RTMP, unfortunately, with the same video. So I would have to make a whole new video if I'm going to do that. But hey, you know what? The good thing is, that it did restore all of the scenes I had created, and it restored my audio settings and everything. So at least that's fixed in the YoloBox. That was like honestly one of my biggest complaints with the YoloBox, is that like if you'd have to restart the device, or if this crashed, you'd have to go back and recreate everything. And it meant essentially you can't prepare the night before also. So so far has not frozen on H.264. John says, it was buffering bad on my iPhone, then I closed and reopened YouTube and it's working great watching in 1080. No buffering now. I think H264 has fixed it. Can you try stream directly from the YoloBox, not YouTube SRT? Not exactly, because again, this is another feature request that I keep asking for that is still not done. I can't stream to a YouTube event that's already created. So if I go and try to go to YouTube, it's going to make a new video always. That just doesn't work. I just can't do it. It's not going to work for me. Like I always create the event first on YouTube, on the website, do all the thumbnail, do the settings, do the like, I actually have it automated. So it automatically posts the next week's, like all that stuff. The thumbnail's up there ahead of time. And I just want to be able to go into the YoloBox and be like, hey, let's stream to YouTube to an event that's already created. So, until that happens, I can't use the built-in YouTube feature, frankly. So, okay, looks like better now. Almost a full minute and clean feed, great. Better now, audio is still out of sync. Okay, I'm trying to think. Let's do the sync test that I usually do. Because what I'm doing is I'm using the delayed audio from the we've got the audio delay that's normally on my cameras, which is timed to the SDI output of the LUMIX cameras, and then I've got the video coming in over HDMI. So that's probably what's going on. So let's switch over. Let's plug in headphones. What I'm going to do is we're going to do double audio for a second. So, how do I want to do this? That one and that one. Hello, hello? That sounds in sync. That sounds perfectly in sync. Oh, wait, tiny bit off. Okay. Oh, apparently you have to hit done. That was worse. It's very close. Is the other way around? It's barely. No. So what I'm doing is, if I have two audio sources on, then if I clap, you should only hear one clap, right? So I can adjust the delay until we only hear one clap. It's so close and I can't quite get it, and it's very distracting hearing myself in the headphones that much delayed, so I'm just going to stop. I think it's good enough. It doesn't even sound that delay when I have two audios on. Like, you don't hear double audio with both of them on. Okay. Audio sync is fine. So the other audio sync problem could be on the viewer end, and yeah. Are we? Yeah. Anybody having issues? Try stopping the feed and starting it again. Are we good? Because we've got other things to to talk about. Gwen says, I switched to 4K after H264 reboot just to see, and stream seems fine so far. I think that's. I think that means I'm not going to use H265 on the YoloBox. At least not in 4K. Surely the audio drops for lack of chatting. The reboot time was super short earlier, so that's a big plus. That's true. Audio is good. 4K video is stunning. Okay. So H265 was the problem. Okay, so let me go through what else I have on here now that we're a little bit more stable. Oh my gosh. So I have I do have the ability to plug in my normal camera feeds into the stream today. So some of these are gonna switch to 1080 if I am switching off of. Those are my two camera LUMIX cameras that are plugged in. I ran a HDMI feed, HDMI cable off of these into the YoloBox for 4K. Also, the first 3 HDMI inputs don't support 4K. Only the top 5 do. The other 4K camera that I have in here is the YoloCam. So the YoloCam, which this is a 1080 picture of it. The YoloCam sitting here, it's a terrible angle, I'm sorry. But if I raise it up any, it's going to be in the other shot. Like, like if I raise this up, you're gonna see it poking through. Which is kind of funny. So the YoloCam is up here, and this is what it looks like. So I've got the 15mm lens on it, which is the lens that I normally, I used to use it all the time as my main lens for the stream until this set. So the 15mm lens, it's a fantastic lens. It's great. I really like it. And the YoloCam, I think, is actually a really nice looking picture. So that is cool. Let me move this back down so it's not in the shot. This is a pretty good picture for a nice little small camera. And the other thing about the YoloCam is, so there's no screen and there's no buttons, right? It's like, it's made to be used with a YoloBox or something else. So, if you go to, this is the silliest thing. I was like trying to find the camera control for it and see how there's 9 options here. And then Frank was like, scroll down. I was like, what do you mean scroll down? Oh, it's not on the overhead camera, of course. It's on the USB camera. Scroll down. And if you scroll down, there's another one down there. So silly. So if you go into here, you get settings for the YoloCam. So here is where you can choose like your sharpness and other settings. You've got focus. I have it set to autofocus right now. You can also do face focus, where it will try to find a face. It was yesterday. It was showing me a little outline. I wonder why it's not doing that. And then you can choose anti-flicker settings, which I should do 50 because then it should make the lights. Oh, camera connection failed. That's why. Weird. I guess we can unplug it and plug it back in. Let's try that. I think it's this one. Yep. Okay, there's the USB. Let's try this again. Camera setting. There's the face focus. Now it's outlining my face, and it should track my face no matter where I am now. Anti-flicker. So 60 hertz, you can see the buttons on the ATEM back there are flickering. So let's go back to 50 hertz on that, and that solves that problem. Exposure set to auto right now. It is set to the lowest aperture. I could do exposure compensation if I wanted to brighten up the image a bit. That's obviously too much. But maybe actually +1 is fine. And then you get your white balance settings. There's no microphone built into it, but it does have an audio input on it. And frame rate. Oh, I should have put that into 30 because I'm actually running this whole thing on 30. And then, oh, is there an update? No. Okay, great. So that's the YoloCam. And this is a picture from it, which I do actually think looks solid. It's a solid camera. And I like the size. It looks like it's like a small point and shoot camera. It's a little weird that the tripod mounts on the bottom or on the side, although it actually works out well when you put it in this bracket, because then you can tilt it. So I guess it works. And yeah, I'm going to Let me scroll through the chats here and see what's going on. Moving on. What are you doing? It says mostly player issues. We're all experiencing different things. The claps were in sync, but 2 seconds behind your hands. 2 seconds? Okay. That's viewer YouTube player issue for sure. Mike said I can't remember all the details. There was something with when H.265 and YouTube SRT were using together. So if H.265 was the issue, this is a problem on Google's end with how they're converting your H.265 to the various resolutions of VP9 they send down to viewers. Could be. It could be. Matt says, I keep switching between 1080 and 4K, and I can't tell any difference just for the record. So I'm curious. Oh, we have a poll going. I forgot about the poll. And we have a solid 50-50. Cool. Keith says, oh, where did they go? It's not in my chats yet. What? Why is my face on the screen? What did I click? Oh, did I just type something in the chat? I did. Oh no, it's the poll results came through as in the chat API. That's funny. Matt says, on the Ultra, I stream H.265 all the time in 1080, and it's worked fine. Emerald says, hi from Ireland, checking in late today. You did miss all the chaos, so welcome. There it is. Keith says, buffering was too bad at 4K, so back to 1080, but I could tell the difference on my iPhone. Okay. How many virtual cameras can be created with a single 4K HDMI input? Let's find out. So I've got a 4K here. I can go create a new camera from HDMI 2 or not. No, it's not HDMI 2. That's why. It's what is this? I renamed it so I don't remember which HDMI. It must be 1, 2, 3. I think it's 4, 5. I think it's 5. Although, wait, why is it? I guess it's already added. So let's do custom. Add source. Can I re-add it? Yeah, I can add it this way. And now I can go and show. Let's make like a zoomed in version of. Oh, that's too much because we can really only go 2x. Let's see. Are there any numbers here that I can use? Position, scale. Yeah, so I can scale to 200, which should be the max that without upscaling. So this is not the best image to do this with. Let's cancel this. Let's do it with this and try to zoom in on that laptop in the back. Interesting. Why is it? Oh, I was like, why is it cropped? Okay. Position, scale. Let's go to 200. So that's twice zoomed in. And then if we go over here, get a nice fuzzy picture of my shelf. So this is going to look slightly, well, it's blurry because it's out of focus. But here, why don't I focus that camera on the stuff back there? Let's go focus on the TV. There we go. Now it's in focus back there, and it should look, it's obviously, so it's taking the 4K picture and it's upscaling it. So if you were looking at it in 1080, this should be native resolution, right? So can I do this again? I guess is the question. Can we start by oops, can we I can show you what I'm doing. Can I duplicate Yes. And then can I edit this? And then can we go and look at the stuff on the shelf? Yes. So now I have two different versions of that HDMI feed. So that's cool. Can I do it again? Yes. Keep accidentally clicking it. And we can go look at the TV. Now I have 3 cropped in versions. So that's cool. Now I should focus my camera back on me. My LUMIX app is also being flaky this morning with the upgrade that I did last night. Shockingly sharp. That's good. I lost my LUMIX control of my camera. I figured it'd be chaos as Aaron doesn't usually do 4K. Nathan says 4K is noticeably better, much better in my opinion. That's a good data point. I'm curious what device you're watching on, because I feel like on some devices it won't be noticeable. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to do something to that camera. How do I get it back? Because it's all blurry now, and it won't let me turn on the remote control. LA12 Livestream says, I use 4K as it forces YouTube to use the VP9 codec. Never upgrade before a show. It's true. I've been holding off on doing the LUMIX upgrade for a long time, but I guess I really shouldn't have done that. Gwen says, I opened up the stream in 2 browser windows on the same computer to compare 1080 and 4K side by side. Difference is marginal. YouTube default view, Windows not full screen, Apple Studio display. I wonder if, yeah, I wonder if, like, I know some people watch this on a TV. I wonder if it's more visible there. Bowles promo says 720 on an iPhone. Yeah. That's the thing, is I feel like most people aren't going to be watching this on a 4K TV. Okay, I restarted the LUMIX app, and now I can actually refocus my camera. There we go. IT Never Gets Old says 4K TV here, although not an expensive one. When I switch between 1080 and 4K, and neither I or my wife can really see much difference. Maybe on a massive TV, yeah. Mike says, this proves to me that 4K is overrated unless you have a massive TV or are projecting. So I do think that there's plenty of value in recording in 4K, because the if you're recording in 4K, it means you can do things like crop in the shots and still have good resolution when you publish at 1080. Not that you can do that if you're publishing in 4K. Ernesto says, what do you recommend for a first time streaming a conference? Volunteering, but I'm not sure what kind of microphones do you use. I have ATEM. The best way to get audio from a conference is to get the microphone, well, in general, is to get the microphone as close as possible to the person talking. So for a conference, you probably don't want to use lav mics, because you don't want to deal with swapping the mic between speakers, because that is a whole job. So I would recommend, if you can, tap into the audio of the room you're in. If they're doing amplification in the room, use that audio, get a feed from the mixer. That's like your best, but that's often not possible because sometimes they won't let you, or the board is too far away or whatever. So one of the other options is bring your own wireless microphone and put it next to the microphone at the podium. I've done that before, and it's a neat little trick where you can essentially just run a separate audio feed that way, right? So it's you get your own audio feed. You're not tied to the room system, and then it's up on the podium, so it's still close to the speakers presenting. Doing a microphone back in the room is not going to give you good audio, so don't even bother with that. Oh, look at that. In Plain Sight gifted 10 memberships. Well, thank you for that. And we got a bunch of new channel members from that. Welcome all new channel members. We've got Omer Newton, Richmond, Maximilian, I Edit Projects, GB Media, Image by Steve, Hans, David, and Robbie. Wow. Well, thanks for that. If you are a new channel member, then make sure you find the member section down below and go log into the Discord and come hang out there. Razor Baby says, on a total answer scale, 4K is post-production friendly. Best flavor for streaming funerals events is 1080 or 720. Record it and repost event later. This does bring up the point, though, that if you are streaming a live event and want to repost the content later, then you kind of need to stream it in 4K. Otherwise, you're going to have to re-edit the whole show, right? So... or it's just complicated. So like one of the things you can do with the Blackmagic workflow is like they set up the ATEM Mini for exactly this purpose, right? Like the ATEM Mini is a 1080 streaming device, but it can trigger recording in Blackmagic cameras that can record internally in 4K. So you can hit record on the ATEM Mini, hit stream, you stream your show in 1080, but the cameras are all doing 4K. Meanwhile, it's also, if you have the ISO model, recording the ISO project with cuts in the ATEM that you can then swap the footage out later. It's complicated. You can do it. It does work. And that's probably like the best workflow for doing that, like stream in 1080, because nobody cares about 4K streaming. But you want to re-edit the content and post either better resolution or do different cuts, crop ins later. Gwen says another trick is to try getting audio feed from one of the PAs and speakers, or mic one of the PAs and speakers. I've done both before when feed from Mixer wasn't possible. That I'm surprised that actually works. I feel like miking a PA wouldn't work, but if that works, that's cool. I just intuitively would not have thought that would work at all. What is In Plain Sight? In Plain Sight is this channel. Hello from Adelaide, South Australia. I gotta get myself on the map. Yeah, you do if you are... I don't think it recognized that, actually. You might have to just say hi from Adelaide again by itself. .4K streaming makes the stream less interactive. That is the downside, is that I'm on way more latency on this. But you do get live captions now, which YouTube should also be auto-translating. Let me get rid of the cropped in scenes. Wow, I'm glad this looks like this is more stable now. I can't believe how bad it was on H265. What are you doing? It says, does anybody send program into a 4K recorder and then out and down convert to 1080 streaming encoder? Yeah, that's another option too. Although that does mean that you have to have your whole pipeline set up in 4K in the first place. So that is one of the challenges. Not that it's not doable, of course, but it's just one of the challenges because 1080 over or 4K over SDI is like a big step up compared to 1080 over SDI. So not every camera does it, which means if you're doing HDMI now, you need to deal with fiber HDMI cables or whatever. So Frank says, going to sleep now. Can you go through what's new features for those who are not familiar with the Extreme? Yeah, we can do that. Although this is going to be I don't have a 4K copy. I don't have a 4K monitor to pipe into the stream right now. My monitor is actually 1080. So when you are looking at this, it is now even a downscaled from 1080 into the shot and then brought back up to 4K by the YoloBox. Yeah, so if you're not familiar with the YoloBox Extreme, that's what I'm using for. And it crashed again, but at least it was quick to restart and it saved all of my feeds. All I did was I tapped overhead. I am on a beta version, so we can blame the beta version, but still, I feel like it shouldn't crash. Photo Joseph has the video. That's right. Of course he does. Where's the comment? Photo Joseph has a video on how to use other non-Blackmagic camera footage and replace the ISO project. Okay, back to this. So, yeah, I mean, this is scaled. This is going to be a much lower resolution picture now. Sorry, I just don't even have a 4K monitor to pipe in. So, oh yeah, I should pipe in some NDI feeds because this has NDI inputs too. 8 HDMI inputs, 5 of them support 4K, 4K 60, 2 HDMI outputs, big screen, external antenna, which I don't actually have connected right now, 4K streaming, ISO recording, up to 4 4K ISOs though, 6 NDI inputs, so I can use my iPhone as a wireless camera. Let's look at the version history here. And see what's new in 196. I'm actually on 198, which is a beta. But 196 is the current production. Although apparently they're rolling it out slowly, so you may not have access to it yet. Rebuild the replay feature. I haven't actually taken a look at that yet. Enabled internal storage. So there is a drive, obviously, in the YoloBox. So now you can record internally without having to plug in a SD card or a SSD. And it looks like, so if I go over to the record tab, it's telling me internal storage. It's actually almost 200 gigs, so that's more than I thought. And here's the options, right? So I've got internal storage. I have an SD card plugged in. I don't have a USB drive plugged in right now. So I can choose now which one to record on. So that's nice. We've got supports the Google Files app for file management. Oh, that's nice. I'm assuming I have to get out of the stream to do that though. I don't see a file management thing here. Redesign the video source overlay section UI. Did it? Did they? This looks the same to me. Oh, I guess this part. Web URL. Title. Yeah, this is a little different. Timers, video overlay. That's nice. You can add video sources as overlays now. That actually is really helpful. So I can do, I can't key it, so I can't use it for, I can't key out the green, for example, but I do like that I can put this here and then added on the screen as an overlay instead of making a scene. So that's nice. Safe action zones. Optimize auto switching UI. Ooh. Let's go back into this auto switch. And here it is. Oh, typo. Missing an O and video follows audio. I don't have enough audio sources to do that. Video sources. Oh, this is very different. Order main video source. So yeah, now you can toggle which cameras. Yeah, this does look different. This makes sense. Great. Optimize default position of overlays. Okay. Supports the YoloCam adjustment. Yeah, we looked at that a second ago where I went into the YoloCam settings. You do still, come on. If you're giving me 9 buttons in a grid, I'm not going to expect to be able to scroll down on that. At least give me a scroll bar. But yeah, you can go to the camera settings and tweak the camera settings. Supports 2K, 4K, USB-C out. Oh, wow. Okay. Improve the USB-C out frame to frame stability. That's good. Cropping function now defaults to fit to screen mode. And added a toggle for show CPU. And then bug fixes. Great. And then what happened in 1.9? Looks like just optimizations and bug fixes. What's new on 8.8? HDMI out supports custom resolutions and frame rates. Unified all encoding settings. Streaming, recording, and replay no longer separated. Yeah, that is nicer. Added screen rotate. Interesting. Why would I do that? I guess so I can mount it upside down. I don't see it. Rolling caption overlays, YoloDeck, HDMI out, 1 and 2 buttons support individual settings and adjustments. Oh, one of the things missing from the YoloDeck I noticed when I was setting up the stream is there's sadly no way to turn on and off audio sources individually from the YoloDeck. So that's a bummer. Improved compatibility with certain iOS NDI camera apps. We saw this a couple times now, although you probably didn't because my stream crashed and I uploaded the crash log. Cool. Yeah, that is some solid updates. They've definitely been busy. What's going on in the chat? Oh, Keith, thank you for the super chat. My Aaron coffee fund was getting low. Do we have the graphics for that? Yes, we do. Or the audio for the graphics. I appreciate it. What do you have that does 4K NDI? I don't know. Does the iPhone camera app do it? Let's find out. NDI camera. It does. It does. I can set it to 2160. Let's try this. Let's try this. Let's add NDI. I found it. NDI ATEX camera. The experience glitches, switch your Wi-Fi to 5 gigahertz or adjust the video to H265. I think this is NDI HX, yeah, only. Let's try it. There it is. So theoretically, this is a 4K feed from my iPhone over NDI. Now I can show you the YoloDeck. So this is just like pretty much the default that it came with. I did take out those buttons, but I wanted to make a mute button for the audio there, which it couldn't. I couldn't do. So that's a bummer. So far, this is stable. That's good. Oh, now I can show you a close-up of the YoloCam also. There's the YoloCam. Can I show you around the back of it? Almost. It's very hard to get my phone around there. Yeah, no, there's no screen. Oh, they do give you cables that come with it, the USB cables that screw in for mounting, which is nice. And yeah, I do love being able to use iPhones as cameras because they're just really good for handheld and if you just need an extra shot every now and then. So that's cool. Neil says, at least with 20-second buffer, the stream is back instantly after a crash. That's good. Razor Baby says, that's why I do 4K record, 1080 down convert out to stream. That's good. In this stream, the subtitles are generated live in English, but there's no option to translate them. Oh, weird. I could have sworn I saw a message from YouTube that said you explicitly can do that. Oh, no. It says you can't. It's right there on the screen. It says, automatic captions are enabled for English. Other languages will not be transcribed to your viewers. Okay. Well, that's a bummer. Meteor X, thank you for joining as a pro supporter. Oh, it doesn't show... It doesn't show it in the chat. That's weird. It says it on my screen. Well, thanks. Mike says, when you add the 1080p computer screen, I can't believe people are still saying the 4K and 1080, but 1080 is the same thing and can't tell the difference. You should, yeah, I agree. You absolutely should notice the difference when I'm sharing the 1080p computer screen, because it should look a lot blurrier in the 4K version, right? Robot Bender says, can we briefly understand the difference, the benefits of this device compared to the ATEM Mini Extreme or whatever it's called? Yeah, I mean, pretty different from the ATEM Mini Extreme, right? So this is, so the ATEM Mini Extreme is going to do just camera switching. Graphics are pretty limited. Like you can load in static images and use them as overlays. But there's no like text generators or built-in, like there's a bunch of built-in graphics on this, right? Like I can type messages on here. Obviously the ATEM doesn't have a screen, so you need to plug in a screen. This thing can also, I didn't actually mention this yet, but the map and even the chats that I've brought in here are coming in through web overlays. So this thing is rendering the web pages and then showing them over. So that's the thing that ATEM doesn't have. But yeah, the ATEM is like camera switching, really basic graphics, and then ISO recording and streaming. I will say that the stability of the ATEM is definitely more, it's definitely more stable than the YoloBox. So, and like it can do, again, not 4K, but it can do the ATEM Mini Extreme ISO can do 8 1080 feed ISO recording. So it'll record all 8 cameras plus your program to disk, and it's very stable. And the number of crashes I've had on it are probably, I can count them on one hand. But it can do a lot less, right? So if you're using the ATEM Mini Extreme, you're gonna have to start adding other gear to it. If you want video playback, for example. So I can actually, like on the YoloBox, I can go and add a video clip, right? I have a video clip on my SD card, and I have no idea. A bunch of these are just test recordings. But here's drone clips I did in Bratislava, and then is it going to, let's turn that down. So I can just roll video clips now, and now you get nice pictures of castles from my trip there. Doing that on the ATEM Mini Extreme, there is no feature for it, so you have to bring in an external video player, and that can be a HyperDeck, which is another $500 purchase. It could be an iPad. It could be a Raspberry Pi. There's a bunch of different ways to do it, but it's always going to be something. So that's one of the nice things about the YoloBox is like I can just on the fly be like, oh, I want to share a video clip and pop it in an SD card and then bring it into the stream like this. So yeah, tons of differences over the ATEM Mini Extreme. I would say that the way to think of this is the YoloBox is like, it is an all-in-one kit. Like you need very little extra gear compared to this to run a stream. And yeah, what else do I have plugged in here besides, it's just cameras and a microphone. That's the only other things I have in here. And I can do graphics, like getting my web overlay into the ATEM is, well, on the ATEM Mini Extreme G2, theoretically it's possible now. But the ATEM Mini Extreme doesn't have anything like that. So the G2 version of the ATEM Mini Extreme adds the Thunderbolt deck link interface to the computer, so OBS can output graphics directly into the ATEM Extreme G2. You still need to run OBS to generate the graphics, but yeah. Oh, also this, Matt says, one feature that was my decision to get the YoloBox over any other switcher was the ability to add a guest. It does have a remote guest feature. I don't have that tab turned on, but you can bring in the remote guest feature. And oops, where did they go? Invite guests. I keep doing that. I keep tapping out here, expecting it to save it, but you have to click done. And now with this, I can either send a link to people or type in their email and they'll get an email. And then they will show up as video sources down here. And doing that, again, that is a feature that is very hard, just takes a lot of extra gear to do. So yeah. No image stabilization on NDI. Oh, is it all wobbly? Yeah, I don't have and I can only flip between the front and rear cameras. I don't have options for other cameras on this. This is the NDI what's it called? NDI HX camera is the app. Omer says, it depends on your business, but what you're doing. But for me, the ease of use in the field, the screen, and the ability to perform some tasks without a computer are key. Yeah. Oh yeah. I should definitely mention that. The ATEM, you are going to have to bring a computer, frankly. Like, you can do actually, or an iPad. If you are using the Mix Effect app on iPad, you can do an awful lot with Mix Effect, but you're going to need another device to control the ATEM. Like, the buttons on it, even though there's a million buttons on the ATEM Mini Extreme, there are not enough to actually do things on it. So you will need another device, like a computer or an iPad. Is YoloCam meant to be vertical first? Quarter 20 and cold shoe on the sides when the camera horizontal seems to indicate it might be vertical first. Also the text. The text on it is also sideways. So YoloCam and the, oh, you can't see it over there, the S7 is sideways. I assume this is a vertical first camera. Although I don't mind having the cold shoe. It's on the top, but now this way it's on the side. My lens is upside down, which is kind of funny. This is the S7 picture, which I still think looks really good. It's maybe a little bit more contrasty than my main camera, but there were settings. Let's see if we can go and change that. Camera settings. Where was it? It was not white balance. Oh, it was right here. Let's, oh, that's too much. Just drop it like a couple, and then maybe the saturation too. Oh, wow. That's noticeable. I also always feel like they over sharpen. It's a little bit more contrasty. Let's see how that looks. Is there a save button? No. I just go back out here. And now we've got the YoloCam. Maybe a little bit not enough saturation. Now let's go bring some of the saturation back. Definitely different colors, but this is, I wouldn't say this is this is a good picture. I don't really have any complaints about the picture. It's a little different than the BGH1 picture, but no real complaints with the YoloCam. Adding 6 wireless NDI inputs alone is worth the money already. Well, let's see how many we can add. Should I try to break it? So I've got my iPhone camera, although my iPhone went to sleep. I don't have other 4K iPhones, but what do I have as other NDI feeds? 6 NDI HX or 2 NDI FX. So I have my ProConvert encoder, which is, what's it doing right now? It is 1080. Of course, it is going to get my, oh, it's over here. NDI encoder. Oh, it's looking at the 3D printer right now. Okay. Yep. There's the NDI feed from the, that is a little, like, tiny bullet camera running SDI into the ATEM. This is a 1080 picture coming over NDI, so we got another NDI feed. What else? I should have more NDI sources. I thought the AVCAN's camera can do NDI. Let's see if I can do that. Where is the AVCAN's camera? I gotta find it on my network first. Oh, it doesn't have a good IP address, that's why. So I think this is the PTZ camera. I thought this one had NDI. It does. It should be there. Okay. Should be published. Why is it not showing up when I go here? Let's see if my ProConvert can find it. No, it's not finding it either. Why are you not seeing it? No RTMP. Do I need to click save or something? There's no, like, I was expecting to find a checkbox. Got that. We've got that. I don't know why I'm not seeing it. Oh, I did have click save, and now it's popped up. So I see it there, so I should be able to see it here now. NDI. There it is. I don't think this is 4K. ProConvert won't find it because the ProConvert doesn't do NDI HX. Well, it discovered it, but I guess it probably wouldn't pull in the video feed. So now we've got the NDI feed for the YoloCam. That NDI feed, I need my iPhone set up somewhere so I can leave it on. Let's set up my iPhone on my little tripod. Oh, maybe this is, I don't know if this is going to work, but maybe this is a good use of my little tiny screen. This is the funniest thing. My, so back at NAB, okay. Oh, the other nice thing about this is it just like showed up here. I didn't have to like, I didn't have to go back and add it again. It just popped up again. So funniest thing at NAB, it's not a good angle. At NAB, I was walking by the Synco booth and saw a couple of, you know, microphones or whatever, but there was this little screen and I was like, what is that? And, then they showed me what it was. It's a little wireless monitor for your phone. And I was like, that is really interesting. It wasn't out yet. And then, a couple months later, I saw an Instagram ad for a little tiny screen. And I was like, oh, that looks familiar, but it wasn't Synco. It was somebody else. And I was like, okay. And then I just started getting ads for them everywhere, as is what happens when you hover on an Instagram ad for too long. And I was like, okay, fine. I have to go look this up again. So I searched around. I found a bunch of these from a bunch of different brands, including Synco and also Small Rig. Actually, the ad might have been Small Rigs that I saw. I was like, that's weird. And so I was too curious, and I had to buy one. I bought the Synco one because I felt bad about buying Small Rigs, even though I like Small Rig. But I found this, since I saw them at the booth, I was like, I should buy that. So the whole idea with this is it's a screen for your iPhone because if you want to use the good lenses on your phone, it's doing face tracking. So let's see. Yeah. Oh, cool. So if you want to use the good lenses on your phone, they're on the back, right? So then you can't see yourself. So the idea is you put this on the back of your phone, and then you can turn it around and see yourself in the screen. So it's a little wireless screen mirroring device. And I was like, this is too interesting. So I don't know if this is going to work while doing NDI, but let's find out. So the idea is that you AirPlay your phone screen. See if it can find it. Yeah. So it just shows up as an AirPlay target. And somehow it mirrors it without needing to be like, I didn't have to like connect to its Wi-Fi or anything. It just, I don't really understand what Apple did to make that work. So I'm still on my house Wi-Fi, and let's see, is the NDI camera still working? It is. The NDI feed is still working even though my screen is being mirrored. So now I can do that. And then now I don't have a way to prop it up on anything, but now I can actually see myself in the screen. So if we go over to this camera, I can see myself, the NDI app screen mirroring on this. So now you can use the telephoto lens or whatever wide angle lens if you're taking pictures with a regular camera or whatever, and that's way, way better. So that's pretty cool. And then, so this was like, I bought this like a month ago, and I tested it out and didn't like mention it. I kept meaning to bring it onto the stream. And then yesterday I saw Tom Buck. Yeah, Matt says, Tom Buck did a video this week about the small rig monitor. I saw his video pop up and I was like, oh, that is so funny. And I watched a bit of it, and the exact same thing had happened to him. He like saw it on an Instagram ad, hovered over it for too long, and then started getting ads for it everywhere, and then went and found the small rig one and bought that instead of the one he got the ad for, which I think is the funniest thing. It's kind of cool. I don't really understand exactly what changed that made this possible to be built, because like AirPlay's been around forever, but I always thought that you had to like connect to the device's Wi-Fi, which means you then lose your own Wi-Fi. So I guess that's what changed, is Apple made a way to do that without hopping over to the other Wi-Fi. So that's super cool. So now I can put this on on there. I can set it up on, oh here, we can actually, since I have a PTZ camera, I can actually do this properly. I can go put this down. And then now that it's up here, I can't see the screen, of course. So I can go here and look at the screen and then frame the shot. Look at that. And then now I know, now I know what it looks like. I can just put that somewhere else. I do wish that it was flipped though, because I want to put it down. And there's buttons on the side. Oh, I think I can flip it. There's a button that flips the picture around. Look at that. That's so cute. Jeez. Well, it is missing a tripod mount, but it does have MagSafe on the back. So theoretically, if I got another one of those Peak Design MagSafe stands, I could use that. How much was it? It was like $60 or something. I should drop the link in the chat. That's what I should do, unless I did already. I did. I put it into the, I already put it in there. Cinco M4 screen. I'll drop that into the chat. It's going to show up before I say this because the stream is so delayed. So if you're wondering what that link is, it just popped into the chat. Now you know. Yeah, $60 on B&H. It's also on Amazon. Comes in blue, black, white, or pink. They did have white in stock on Amazon, which is what I got. Pink is kind of cute. Honestly, I'm way more impressed with the screen than I should be. Matt says, I know the story of how that happens, but it was too long to type here. I heard it from Apple. Well, that sounds like a good topic to cover in the members Discord for all the channel members. Drop some notes in there. I would love to know. MediaVac has 2 of the small rig monitors. They're very cute. What are you doing? Since it's been a while since those little wireless tally lights for companion came out. Have you seen or heard of anybody using them regularly? I have not. They are super cool, but I do wish they had a battery in them. Because you have to power them over USB, which is like probably fine. But yeah, they're very cool. Little they just connect to companion and show up as, you can make them reflect the color of any of your buttons in companion, which is yet another reason why I want the YoloBox to support companion, so that you can do fun stuff like this and not be stuck with your YoloDeck, which is clearly lacking some features. Be sure to monitor the CPU on the upright status bar. Oh yeah, it is. It's been hovering around 56% this whole time. The Zoe box will output NDI if that's available on the network. Oh yeah, I leave it powered off because it's a little bit noisy, but I can go turn on the PoE for it. Let's do that. Where's my studio PoE switch? I need to redo my whole network. I need a 48 port in the closet, and I'm going to move the 48 port that's here into the closet, I think, because I'm not using all 48 down here. Let's turn it on, give it a second to boot up. Do you have OBS set up for NDI as a possible source? I think there's a plugin. It should. Yes, you're right. I think I normally see that. I just turned it off because I wasn't using OBS for graphics today. Let's turn that on. And what can I put in OBS? I guess I can put the map. And then that should show up down here now. So let's bring in another NDI source. There is OBS. And there it is. So now I have OBS is rendering that picture over NDI. I've got the PTZ camera. I've got the little mini NDI camera. I've got my iPhone. This is pretty good. This is doing well. So I've got 4 connected right now. Okay, now I'm getting CPU warnings as it's going over 60. So we're reaching the limit. But that's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah, it can only do 1080 NDI. I think most of my stuff can only do 1080 NDI. I also do wish that I could see what resolution these were at, because there's no way to tell if my inputs are actually coming in at 4K or not. So like theoretically, I sure hope this is a 4K feed out of my camera, because the HDMI port should be doing 4K out of the LUMIX camera, but I can't actually confirm it here. And Frank did say that the YoloCam, this one, supports 4K over USB, which is what this is. But again, I have no way to actually confirm that, because there's no way to see the resolution, input resolution, which is something that the Director Mini does do. So let's see, I can turn that one on and then show you. USB consumes too much CPU. I saw you have 3 connected. I'm actually not using the USB audio. I was for a second, but I took that out because we switched over to the HDMI audio, which seems to be fine. So I'm not even using the lav mic. So let me unplug that. And then oh yeah, the other thing that was on USB was one of the DJI Pocket 3 webcam, but I'm not using that either. So it's really just one USB device, is the YoloCam. Emerald says, I generally test the stuff against my Mage-Well Pro Convert NDI to HDMI 4K, as it gives me the stats on the input. Oh yeah, that is a good one too. Let's see if my Director one has turned on. No. Gotta hold the button down longer than feels like you should. How many multiple NDI pictures and pictures can it cope with? Ooh, that's a good question. Let's find out. I'm really pushing the limits here. Let's do a news layout with 2 NDI sources. We've got my iPhone and the map. Swap them. Can I add that's a video clip. I can't add a live video as a background. So 2 is fine. What if we do 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's 4 NDI sources. We're still hovering at 60%. Oh, I should have added the overhead as one of these because you can't see that. Yeah, still hovering at 60% CPU. 4 up NDI with this one and ready to go on standby. Do you see that glitch, or am I seeing that glitch? It's like the previous one stuck around for a couple extra frames. Does it do that when I switch back to this? No. It's only when switching to the layouts. I don't know if you see that. Let me know. Okay, did the Director 1 come up? It did. So this is an example of what I want the YoloBox to do. On the inputs, it tells me the resolutions that it's getting. Don't know why that's at 10 frames a second. That's weird. And then if you look at the actual device itself, it'll also show you there. So let me go zoom in on that. So if you go and pull down, you can see it there as well. I don't know what's going on with the other HDMI. So I want that in the YoloBox. Yes, you did see the glitch. Okay, interesting. How's the air conditioner coping? It's rough. It's warmer in here than I want it to be. It is currently 78 Fahrenheit. 25.5. And the temperature outside, it's actually much more reasonable today than I was expecting. It was supposed to get really hot today too, but it's looking like it's only about 80 outside, which is 26.6. The studio temperature in here is not good. Oh yeah, I got a new, totally random. You'll see it on this graph. So I swapped out the water heater because the water heater in here was from 2008. So it's like 17 years old. And that's about their lifespan. So I was like, I don't want this to become an emergency and have to replace it the same, like in one day. So I replaced it with a heat pump water heater, which is, it's like having it's a heat exchanger instead of just like an electrical element that heats up the water. So when it's on, it actually pulls heat from the air and moves into the water, and then the exhaust from it is cold air. So in some cases, this is not good. Like if it's in a basement that you are using as living space, you probably don't want to just always have your basement be, running the air conditioner. But my water heater's inside the room with my servers, and that room stays very hot, as you can tell here. So normally it's like hovering around 95, and that's like when it's not 100 degrees outside. But as soon as the water heater kicks in and warms up the water, it drops the temperature by 10 degrees in the room, which is amazing. So I have essentially free server room cooling now when when it runs the water heater. So that's cool. Yeah, the studio has AC, but it, as you can tell, it was not doing well. Like it shouldn't have gone up to 83 in here yesterday, but it was just too hot outside. So you can see the water heater kicked in again, and then it turned off, and it's starting to warm up in there already. Your water heater's in the room with your server. That's a disaster in the making. No, it's fine. You only need Bluetooth for AirPlay. So that wasn't always true, and that must be what's different. Matt says I put the short version on Discord. Great. So if you are a channel member or one of our new channel members, thanks to In Plain Sight's gift, join the Discord. Link is in the membership section, and you will get to learn the details. Is there a way to install Tailscale directly on the YoloBox Extreme? So the weird little hack that used to work for sideloading apps doesn't seem to work anymore. They changed the way the browser works. It was like when you would go add a YouTube channel, you could break out of it and into a browser. Oops. I have no idea if the stream is still going. I suspect it's not. Well, maybe it is. Maybe that was going the whole time. Anyway, you could see that when I tried to click, if that worked, if you could see that, I clicked like open in Chrome and it didn't open in Chrome. It went back here. Streaming is still going. Okay, great. I can never tell if when this screen is not on, if it means that this is not running, running or not. David says there's a device that replaces a water heater. It's a heater pass-through without a tank. So that's what I have for the main house. The main house, the 3 units there have tankless water heaters. Craziest mechanism. Well, I want to show you a picture of what it looks like inside them. It is, yeah, here's a good picture. I can't believe this works, but it is 3 40-amp circuits, one connected to each one of these tubes, and there's a heating element. This tube is a heating element, so cold water comes in there. I think these are all the way around. So cold water comes in there and then goes through this tube, into that tube, down into that tube, up through that tube, and then out this. And these are temperature sensors, so it's reading the temperature of the hot water. And then you've got hot water. And these are 40 amps each. And that means that just the water running through that pipe gets hot at the speed the water is running. It's crazy to me that that works. Like, I know if you have one of those tea kettles, not a tea kettle, but like you can get just the heating element for a tea kettle and put it into like a cup and it'll heat the water pretty quick. It'll heat the water up pretty quick. So I guess it's just like a superpower version of that. And yeah, so that's what I have for the main house, but I didn't want to do that for this because I don't want 4 120 amp devices on the lot. Tankless is the way to go. Love it. Yeah, I'm super excited for it there. I just didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that here, although it would have given me more closet space back. Okay, we should probably wrap this thing up. We're hit the 90-minute mark. Things are stable now. That was a rough start to the beginning, but now we know that H.265 on the YoloBox is not ready yet. So if you're doing 4K on the YoloBox, make sure you do H.264. I am pushing SRT to YouTube, which is not enabled for everybody yet, but it seems to be working fine. Since YoloBox can pull in web sources directly, maybe you can pull in your stream as a source to be able to monitor it. Oh my god, I don't know if I want to waste the CPU cycles on that, but that's hilarious. I should honestly have it up in a window, but I just don't have enough screens to do that. Soldering iron in the old days at the station to heat water. Oh my god, really? I have 2 houses with on-demand water heaters. I had to go through 3 plumbers to have one to put in. You have to be close to the main box. I mean, it depends on if you plan for the wiring or not, right? Because if you are trying to retrofit your wiring, then good luck getting someone to run 340 amp wires, 50 feet through the walls. But mine are nowhere near the electrical boxes, but it's fine because we planned for it and they just ran all the wires inside the walls. So whatever. Robert says people were treating the start of the show like the Hindenburg accident. All is good. I mean, it was bad. I agree. We don't want that. But now we know, and we've made it through the other side. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. We're gonna wrap this up. I don't have enough screens. I don't have enough screens. I only have one computer monitor, one screen on this computer because it's simpler to manage. If I want to share what I'm looking at on the stream, it's simpler to manage what I see is what you see versus having a second screen where I'm like, oh, what screen is that window on? But maybe I should. Maybe I should. The other problem was, oh, this might not be true anymore with the M2, but with the M1 Mac Mini, the dongle, because there's only one HDMI port, so you need a dongle for the other one. It would just like disconnect, and I would have to physically unplug it and plug it back in, which was really annoying because it's inside the rack. But I haven't actually tried that with the M2 Mac Mini yet. So I should probably try that, and then I could grab a second monitor somewhere. I'm running out of space though. That's the other problem, is I don't know where to put it. I don't know where it would go. I like my teleprompter being my confidence monitor, but today it wasn't because I'm on the YoloBox, so oh well. Oh, you know what I didn't do yet? 4K 1080 comparison. This is my 4K HDMI feed. This is the same camera running through the ATEM, so it's 1080. So this one's 4K, this one's 1080. This one's 4K, this one's 1080. I'm really curious if anybody can even tell the difference. Working through problems, what we tune into your channel to see. Yeah, well, that was a good example of today. I believe you about space. Yes. What's the streaming bitrate in 4K? Oh yeah, so I am streaming at 16 megabits, which was just the default setting. That's what we were on today. Thanks for the stream. Thank you for watching. Let's see if my credits can roll on the YoloBox. Thanks for a very informative stream. Learning that streaming in 4K can be scary. Well, maybe I'll do it again next week, and we'll see how it goes. We will see. All right. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks to the Extreme supporters, Tom, Larry, Andre, Kevin, and Marcin. And thanks to all the pro supporters and the new pro supporter who I'm going to have to add to this list after the stream. And thanks to all the other channel members as well. Your support is very much appreciated. And it goes to support the little experiments like this, so I can share those with you. Yeah, welcome. It's been a day. Thanks for watching. Tune in again next week. I will be back same time, same place next week. I will have some stories about wait, no, not next week, the week after. Has the scroll always been choppy? No, the YoloBox is now rendering this today, and it is at 68% because it's trying to do this CSS animation of the credits. I'm going to be doing a remote stream for Lilica. She's traveling, so I will have some adventures to share about that in a little bit. Anyway, if you're in Portland, come to Grilled by Bike. I'm bringing a slushie machine. Okay, I will see you there. Thanks, and goodbye.